We should be live now in a few seconds. Yay! Hey everyone. Everyone. I don't know if there's anyone yet, but hi. How are you doing? Today, and this is going to be the case for a stream or two, we're going to... I have work to do on things that are part of GDQuest, part of the job of running your company, in a sense, but that are not directly making tutorial. Obviously, there's a lot of that in accounting, in relationships with people, community management, replying to lots of emails, going to events, and here's something else, making a tool to package courses more efficiently. So this one is open source. It's available on GitHub, and there should be a course tools repo. I'm going to move the first computer back because I don't know if you can hear it in the mic, but it's running a bit hard on the CPU. Okay. I have a number of tools I put up on GitHub that you can use to work with the Gumroad selling platform. I have a tool to fuzzy find people in a list and retrieve their data, things like these, and we have Packager. This one, the goal is to help you find, how can I say, it takes all the files in a course project and it's going to package the chapters and zip them and write a changelog, keep track of what's new, all that stuff. That's what we're going to work on. Currently there's a bit of code and the tool is going to find lots of files. It's going to try and copy them over to a folder named build or dist, and it's going to ignore certain files from the source, copy others over. Let me show you the structure. This is what I use now for the Good course. The reason being, if you update your courses, it's actually, you easily make mistakes. Well, if you have a tool that can do the bookkeeping for you, it should work a bit better. So this should be go to course. Let me see where I put it on this computer. I have the files on Dropbox, some of them. Course. And yeah, I do have some files in there. You can see how it is right here. So I have my root folder with a few subfolders that correspond to course chapters. Everything is considered a chapter. Inside of these, I have 3 folders, currently course exercises in Godot, should be course exercises and static. In the course folder, you won't see much in here. Where do I have? Yeah, you will see subfolders. Each corresponds to a different page in the course with its pictures and the text in markdown form in this one. You also have a section where you should find the videos, and the exercises are same thing. One folder is one exercise with the course part and possibly a companion demos and all these things. And it packages them this way. I'll go to the dist folder. It's going to convert everything to HTML. HTML4 now, because it's as I'm working on the course, it's much more convenient to upload and all that stuff. And it outputs a document formatted with the pictures in line, things like these. I have a computer on the left that keeps blinking. I don't know why. Hey Omicron, welcome. So that's the point of this tool. It's going to convert everything to HTML. It's going to package all the pictures together. The Godot projects as well. It puts them in their own folder. It copies the CSS once per chapter. for now. Eventually it will output also an EPUB, I guess, from HTML, like an ebook in a sense for each chapter. That's it for now. So the point now is to have it also generate this file called changes, where I can write a few lines, but it's also going to tell you in each update what is new. See, you have the release number. You should have eventually maybe a menu on the left, and it's going to do this every time you build. It will store the build date and just check what it has to copy compared to last time, what has been changed, and which files are new. So it's going to store a database, in a sense, a list of all the files you had. Good morning. I just have one issue with the left screen. I do not know why. Maybe it's because of OBS. It keeps blinking. Anyway, you can see the point of the tool. It has to do all that work for you. So this way you can go back to your CSS file, you change it, it's going to update it everywhere and all that stuff. But for now, we have to start with the basics. It already does some basic job of finding files, and it's a simple script for now, and it's already falling apart, so now I have to make it a bit more robust and work in stages. Today and for now, we're going to work on the first part, which is once you get the project path, it will explore all these subfolders, build the database, update the files. Like, it's not going to copy the files over, but it's going to do all the data part. Okay, looking for all the files, generating, storing them in a database. It's probably going to be a JSON file, and keeping track of what's new, all that stuff. So let's do this. Get project path. It's the start of the script, so that's okay. Find modules. I have to get back into the code right now because this was a script initially, and it needs some classes, some much more robust code now. So, okay, so I called them modules. Why did I call that modules? Yeah, course modules, I guess. Okay, makes sense. Should be chapters then. Yeah, I called it modules in case people would use them, but okay, let's do a replace modules with chapters. Could call it subfolders, but yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Skipped one. Did it ignore? Go down chapters, then. Okay. So let me see what I had. The steps for now are, it's going to get a list of subfolders. These are the chapters in the course. Chapters equals get. Well, I guess I'll start to move things to functions already. Find chapter. I wonder if I should make an object for something like that. We're going to have some classes for the database. I'll keep it procedural for now. Find chapters in the path. The point of this function is really to return a a dictionary. You can see the name. It's going to have this form. It's going to use the name and the absolute path of the chapter, but I think that's not a great idea. Could use a relative path instead. What do you say? Oh, we're going to keep the absolute path. Okay. Screen keeps blinking on the left. What's the matter? Same resolution, same orientation, extended displays. Yeah. Maybe it's due to OBS and using the webcam. Oh, it's fine. Alright. Let's create a find chapters method. We're using Python, by the way, today. Find chapters. Document every function. Returns a dictionary of the dictionary is going to be name apps path for each subfolder found in the path. Okay. Not this one. Yeah, I made some mistakes with naming. I had that bad habit of change folder path. I had this bad habit of using simple names that tend to prevent you from doing quick replace with set syntax. Set syntax is when you use :s like this, and you can start to type some regex to delete things, and you can replace it with anything like that, and you can see it update inline. Project path, and there we go. Not gonna be too happy. Oh, now, so let's do this. We're going to store project chapters. I guess yeah, okay, we can return it directly. Slightly complex list comprehension, I guess. Okay. I've defined it after here. Okay. We have someone asking, what is Packager? It's the script I use and I'm working on to build the course for every update, build the Godot course, and it's open source. Okay. Thankfully, this was mostly procedural till now, fairly linear. So you find all the folders which correspond to chapters, and then for each chapter in the project, you're going to dive in and look at 3 subfolders: content, static, and exercises, and use as many or as few as you'd like. of these. In the content, it's going to see the video files, it'll copy them over. Then it's also going to look at subfolders, and for these, it's going to merge all their image folders, and it's going to build the markdown, burn it to HTML, and copy some CSS as well along the way. There you go. This one, find course files in a given path. It finds all markdown and the matching image folder, and it returns the markdown files and image folders. Okay, that's cool, but walk, remove the ignored folders. I don't like this formatting. It goes find all the markdown files. If I remember correctly, yeah, it tries to... It supports two types of file organization. That is, you can have... Hold on, I have this course one. It supports subfolders like these, but it should also support having multiple markdown files next to one another like that as well. Okay. So this, I guess, we can keep. Files to copy, folders to copy. What is that? Files to copy are all the non-markdown files. It's going to copy them as is, so like videos, for example. The idea is you can place kind of any file type you'd like in there. It's going to support everything, but it's the one folder where it will look for markdown files to convert course files in a sense. And I think this function should also work for the exercises now. Okay, so it's going to find all the markdown files to build, folders to copy to this folder. I'll pass, blah, 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 blah. Build and move files with Pandox, so that's where we exit for now. And we stop the program here. This is below this, it's going to do everything that has with building the files. Going to turn this into a procedural function that just does all the steps. For now, it's just so that I can collapse it like this. And we have copy the CSS file once per course folder. I think this was working. And there's timestamp. No, that's not the right order. We're first going to build the list of all files to copy. Remove the debug, I guess. Yeah, and to remove the old debug mode, which was not that great of an idea. Like, it would only process a limited amount of chapters, but that's not the way to do it. Instead, I'm going to create a test project where I can just try things out. See how fast it runs and all that stuff. So we have some setting. Okay. Yeah, have some errors. Ah, that's what debug was for. Okay, so let's add debug back. Okay. Ah, come on. Forget. It's not GDScript. Chapters. It's going to be project. Chapters. Okay. Path is gonna be it was project path, right? Last but not least, where was it? Yeah, we have it. Okay, cleaning up some errors for now. Get back to it. Find all the markdown files to build, folder to copy to dist. Let me get some paper and pen and some tea, very important. Okay. This. Right. Trick. Creating a program. The most important part is, and the hardest part is not writing code. It is instead finding the structure at first. You have to start and focus on that. Start with and focus on that. Just take a few notes. Just like with games, it's interesting to prototype, make the script, and see if you can keep it simple or see where it breaks. Otherwise, gonna get some tea. And then the code's architecture is essential, and for that you do not code, you take pen and paper or you write it down somewhere. So I have to think about the various steps the program will go through. It's gonna find everything, store everything as it finds them. Then with this data, with the stored data, you branch out and you want to timestamp as you store. You want to compare to the previous build, and then you branch out. Okay. Then you're gonna do two things. Let me show you. It's very simple. Well, I'm not the... Okay, I'm very bad at organizing everything. Let's see the webcam right here. So, does it focus right? It's very simple. You take a few broad notes like these, try to get the big picture around the program. It's going to timestamp the files, the new files, compare with the files you had before, and from there it's going to filter basically the list. I guess that's one more step. That's part of comparing, but you're going to filter out all the files that did not change. For that, it's a few ways to do it. Timestamping is okay, like yeah, the last time the file was changed. Or you can use the MD5 checksum. I think there's a library for that in Python. This is quite convenient. If there's a function that does it like this, it'll be perfect. So you filter, and then you want to write the changelog. And even if it's going to be linear, it's going to write the changelog virtually first, then it's going to copy everything, track errors. Ideally, that's where I'd like to go. And once it's done copying and tracking errors, it's going to write changelog2 file. Okay. First finding all the files, storing them. To store them, we need a database. How do we do this? You have to think about the objects you're going to use, right? Install them in a DB. Need a class for, I guess, the database where it can find, compare, write. Going to be course DB. Going to store the chapters, in which you'll have various folders. And yeah, it's going to store the file tree in a sense. A good way to do it. Chapters, no. I think I'm going to shove everything in there for now, and then we'll split it up. Okay. So let's add a new class, course database, and its init function. Self. Okay. Self the data. I guess we're going to store it as a dictionary. Is it a good idea, or should I store everything as objects? Wonder. Well, let's start with dictionary. We can always change that later. Find course files. Self. Self that's course path. Like this one. So how is it doing? How was I doing? I have the down folder to copy. Keys. Yeah, it tries to store too much information at once. It's all mixed up. Trying to process all the folders at once, and I don't think that's a good approach. Folders to copy. Okay, the data, I guess I'll store stuff from the start. We're going to have chapters. I guess data could be a list. Why is it called? I guess I'll make calls database just a data container. Now the chapters could be a list with each being a dictionary. What's best? Let's do it this way. So you're going to be a data container, and we'll have a class called folder processor, which is going the one. It's going to be the one responsible for finding stuff, and the database then will process the data it gets. Let's try it this way. Folder processor, it's going to initialize as why did I write self def? Okay, it's going to initialize using a folder path, and from there it will find the project chapters. Project folder, cell.project folder is equal to project folder. Cell.find project chapters. Project chapter is going to use replace folder path with self. Folder path is 0. That. Quick note with set syntax that I'm using right there. One thing you can do that's very useful is because this is always a regex replace. You fire set, you find some pattern like path, then you can add something before it and do /0 to retrieve the global found pattern. Hey Jill, thanks for dropping by. This is probably the worst time to stream and the least interesting stream to do. But hey. Trying my luck at doing some Python programming. Going back through some old code, project chapters. Okay, so it's going to be a dictionary with the path stored. Let's see. Find file folder to feed the calls, folder paths to feed the calls database. There we go. And I think I'm not going to folder path. I'll do that. Okay, I was doing it as the key is the folder name or the chapter name. Hey, good morning, Snack. It's morning as well in Singapore, like here. Okay, so let's see. Folder processor will get the project folder chapters, and from there it has an interface where something else can ask it for custom files. I guess it's always going to be self. Yeah, in which case I don't necessarily want to have, I guess just on the doc string I'll keep this, this method. Okay, yeah, I think I forgot to, come on. What did I do? Delete something? And I forgot to indent it back. Okay, good. There we go. See you after lunch. I'm wondering why the CPU load keeps getting that high. There's Windows Explorer. What are you doing, Windows? Stop. That'd be nice. Okay. What do we have running? I don't know. Alright. We are going to explore. We're going to explore the path. How was I using it before? Okay, so that's not how I want to do it at all. Okay, so this one, find calls files, only going to work one folder at a time. Makes sense. Self path, it's going to be folder instead. Or I guess again, folder path. That way I'll do a replace of path with folder path. Yep. What? Yes, this one. No. 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 No, 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 no. It's only used once. Great. Wow. Really wonder, like, I have some things burning the CPU, like, pretty hard. And I don't know why. Just randomly. You have an idea why that can happen? Because I'm using Windows, right? Okay, Windows Explorer is running, but it should not be. I guess that's the problem. And now I have to rerun it. Explorer, come back. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so now instead of what I had before, I want to, so in find, it's going to go through, I'll do it on the computer, it may be a bit better for you. I'll do this like, going to look if content, static, exercises exist. So it's going to go in each chapter and look for the subfolders, like if the path exists and it's a directory, it's going to dive in it. Yeah, Windows updates can sometimes download lots of stuff, but no, it's not Windows updates in this type of case. Shouldn't be. Anyway, I have a policy now. Turns out on this computer I got the Pro version Windows, so I could do that. I didn't know I had it, and yeah, in Windows Pro you can prevent services from doing things however they'd like. You can pretty much configure it as you'd like. I don't know if find files is the best, as it's kind of hard-coded. It has to copy files. It has to copy files from static directly. I guess I should hard-code it a bit more. You know what? I guess we're going to do this. Delete all that, forget it. Or build, we'll see later. And we're going to start by processing everything this way. It's fine. Can you tell me what's best? We have Gilles here, who's a seasoned developer. This tool is going to go in each of these chapters. It's going to look for the course, exercises, and some static folder. Like this. I guess we're going to do it this way. And from the static, it copies everything. From exercises, it goes to each subfolder. It converts the pictures and going to convert the pictures and markdown file to HTML and copy the projects that go along with it, all that in a self-contained directory, because the exercises have to go to a separate zip file in the end. And from the course, it's going to find each markdown file. So this is not a complete version of the course, but here we have an example. It can go in subfolders. It's going to merge all the pictures from each article and convert everything to HTML. So I guess I need a function that I guess I need a list of content files. Now I want to store everything per chapter, so in each chapter I'm going to have 10 static exercises and work from there, but I don't know how to best split the functions to. I guess I'm gonna have three methods for now. Yeah, do this, find content, do everything that has to do with content, then you go in static, because static is very simple. You copy the folder or the content of the folder. That's very little info. Yeah, this is gonna be hard coded if I do this, but I don't know how to best handle it. I mean, I need the script ready tomorrow, so that's kind of like, if you have some recommendations, they're really welcome. Also, and copy. You'd go for a small function that handles a single file or a single folder. So for each folder or file, then a big processing function that orchestrates everything. you have some more details about that. Big processing function and the small function. So the small function would check, for example, the, it's a markdown file. It not sure how to best handle it, to be honest. Anyway, I'm doing all that, but first I have to, because I've tried. The problem I had was exercises and content are really, they look similar, but they're not the same thing. With an exercise, you want to copy the entire folder self-contained. Well, for course files, it's like an ebook, if you want. I want to bundle everything and put it at the same place so it's convenient to read. And exercises, each of them needs to be a self-contained package. On top of that, I want the changelog to work and tell me these are new exercises, and you know, that's why I want everything to be arranged a bit differently. Well, I guess keeping static is okay. That would be the first thing. For each chapter, we'll have maybe, let's try this out. Name of the chapter, and then it's going to have name, content, content, exercises, static will be a path. Is there anything more to it? List. Yes. Really not. How do I best do? gonna try this out and see. So for now, let's go with climb. Yeah, because one thing, what I was thinking about doing at first was walking the entire tree, but then from top to bottom, filtering out ignored folders, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a static setup and simple rules to start with. So let's put everything there. Yeah, okay. Let's put everything back in there, and I think find project chapters, find content. It's Space Max, yeah. I'm working with Space Max. Main method to build the database. It's gonna how did I call it? File processor. Yeah. Folder processor. A dictionary. So the point of using a dictionary is you can convert it to JSON back and forth very easily, which is convenient. Okay. So the calls database, I guess I have to hold a reference to processor. Not going to create one in there, but it's going to update with some data, and process the something like this. Did you do new in Python? Do it like this, you call the class, right? Okay. Dot find files, I guess. Do it this way. Finding content and all that stuff will handle on its own. Yeah, it's going to be hard-coded. Finds all, finds everything. Okay, let's have fun for now. Try to make it work already. No. For chapter in project chapters, you're going to find content. Try this. I feel like I'm doing something really bad with them. Already fragmented. Yeah, if you have ideas on how to browse the project and make it not so hard-coded, I guess hard-coded works. I can get it to work for my own need. Review the code later. How do we do everything? We get a list of paths. I can chapter something like, let me think. I want a list of file path. It's going to be chapter and content. Exercises and static. A folder path like that. Then you find the content. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna build a list. Project files is gonna be equal to gonna be a list of dictionaries. Chapter data gonna be dict. With chapter and empty dict inside of it. That's Can I do you think this way in Python? I think not possible, so I go with chapter maybe I'm not going to do going to have keys, it's content, it's not good, and an empty list. Yeah, files, it? An empty list, static path. This way. chapters. Name. Path. Okay. Name. Static. I guess I'm gonna do it. I have 3 constants as well. Folder. Content. Folder. Static. I could have a num for that, right? Let's see. Nums in Python are not so keen in there. That's, hold on. How is it already? I think you have num imports enum class, right? To do an enum for folders, enum. I think that's how you do it. Folder names to use as paths. Okay, and it's going to be content. It's going to be folder settings, folders, and okay, we have yes, and exercises. Okay, and we finally have the same with static. It's sizes static. All right. Now I can use the enum instead to store everything using file references. Wonder, can I use objects as keys? Because enum elements are like that, so try to do this. We'll see if it crashes. No. Folders dot exercises and okay. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. No, it's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to keep the keys always the same. This is where I want to change it. Change right that, and it's going to be folders dot static dot value. There you go. I'm going to do this. Actually, I don't want any of the keys to exist. Delete everything inside. I only want the keys if there is content. Right? I can do it this way instead. I'm going to store temporarily the data I get back from the functions in variables. Find the exercises content like this, and only if there are exercises, I'm going to create the key. It's a good idea. It's not necessary. I just there's nothing. No, it's okay. Take this way. So data static. If I guess is there is going to work if I use it directly. I think, excuse me, I think the sound hold your voice. I didn't understand. If you can tell me again, explain. I think yes it is. Okay. Ah, the music. It's too loud. Okay. I did some test recording before, but I guess if I'm not speaking loudly, is it better this way? Is it enough? Spanglish here. Hola, ¿qué tal? No falo español, pero si quieres podemos conversar para hablar portugués. Okay, right. Okay, and then we append project files dot append our data, and that's it. Maybe like that. Return project files. Okay. Extremely basic. I think I don't need any of you, right? I can just have data like this, initialize it, set its content, exercises, and static content, and we'll, okay, so static, no problem. I need find content and find exercises. Nihongo 話しましょうかね。もう毎日練習します。けど一人では、よくできませんね。I speak four tongues, basically French, English, Portuguese. That's why I can do a bit of Spanish. I can like read Spanish. It's hard to keep a conversation because the words in Portuguese and Spanish are so close that often it's hard to keep everything from Spanish in mind and all. Okay, so this time around I'm going to do things differently. I don't want to have files to copy, folders to copy, because one issue I remember I had some issues trying to I wanted to target the markdown files and find the pictures that really belong to them, right? And I don't want to go open the markdown, find all the image paths, then go find all the corresponding pictures. It has to be simple. So one way to do this without hard coding it was it does look for the markdown files and it does look for companion files around it, right? But if there are videos in the folder, I also want to copy them over. the thing with Markdown is I want to build them, I want to move them differently, and from the source folder, so that you can organize your source folder and have each project self-contained. But when you build, it's going to be all top level, with the dependencies at the right place, kinda. I guess I'm going to keep it that way. So it's going to walk. Yeah, okay, I guess if you do a long book and all, it's important to walk all this. So for each, in the list of directories, it's going to check for each if it's not an ignored folder. And I'm using regex for that. It's too complicated, but okay. Then you check the current parent folder. Why do I do that? You have the path to the current directory. Grab it. I guess it should be at the top. If you're currently in an ignore, dear names. Hold on, I have to open Zeal. I have to open the docs. Yeah, sorry, I don't. The thing is, I can code a little bit, but I really don't code enough to always know how things work. You know, to keep track of like Python scripts. I've done a few, but I don't know lots of features and functions by heart. So okay, it's using remove here. This, okay, it's a couple. I guess, yeah, because it goes from the top to the bottom. Cannot really exclude. It goes from top to bottom, right? So every time it's going to remove current folder. Why did I add this instruction? Because you always filter directory names. You don't need to check for the current folder. If you are in the current folder, yeah, okay. Another thing I'm gonna do is use the simpler root directories and files. It's the path going to be root. Then the names, directories, and file names. It's going to be files. Okay, little clearer now. Okay, so it's going to filter the directories. Then why new markdown files? Note, I programmed this months ago. And one thing I do, which is really bad and you should never do, is work too much and not take holidays. And the truth is, when you do this, you are slower when you code and you make more mistakes. I see why I was storing it. Okay, so folder for folder in this. Hold on. Root F. Okay, so it looks for markdown files in the current folder. Okay, I see. So on. And another thing that's why do you use Gumroad instead of Udemy? I'm too lazy to make a Gumroad account. Well, don't make a Gumroad account then. Udemy takes 50% off every sale. Every sale you do from the platform. On top of that, they keep all the data about everyone, so you can't really do mailings. There are lots of things. Udemy tries to lock you in as much as they can. So you cannot switch to another platform if you have problems, because you have all your users there and all that stuff, and you have a contract with them where you can't get any data out. Yeah, for sales platforms like these, for training, 50% is common because there's little competition. So you either sell it on your own. The other thing that Udemy does is the prices used to be very high and the quality higher for the trainings in the past. And they did that thing where to get more, to do more and more gross revenue, to generate more sales, they did those deals, and because they grew their marketplace and they do it like Steam and everything, they do super high, super big deals all the time. And the truth is, the vast majority of teachers or tutors there, they don't make a living and they do shit content, and they try to put out a lot of it to make enough sales to make a living. There's that, and there's the fact that, yeah, if you're going to sell a course, you're going to make $5 or $10 per sale. The quality, you can't set it too high, because the higher the quality of your course, the longer it takes to produce, the more it costs to produce. And you'll see on Udemy, you have almost no one who edits their videos. Almost nobody. And even on YouTube, it's for tutorial, it's fairly rare. And yeah, the thing is, another thing I can do on Gumroad that I can't do on Udemy is you have versions of each course I do, and I try to make it so the people who don't have a lot of money or live in certain parts of the world, they can get the cheapest version. Maybe, I think right now for the good course it's 15 euros, but it's not like 4 times less content as the more expensive. It's 2 times less or something like that. So yeah, you get the course, you get a bit of an advantage, like the quality price ratio is higher. I can't really say that because I do my best to make every course version worth it, but it's I can make one version accessible to everyone, even if everyone still wants to pay for the more expensive version, but you should know that, yeah, it's not necessary. Okay, so still going to copy all the files, and it copies all the folders. Okay, so folders to copy, instead you're going to be other files here. Okay. Going to be a list, so we have some lists in there. You have markdown files, image folders, and you're going to return all that. And I like to make all the parameters explicit when I'm doing a method like this, and the return lists explicit, just so that when you return it, you are forced to check for and rewrite the arguments. Not always great, but when you don't work often on the same program, it's you see exactly what you get. So content is going to be, yeah, no, actually I can't do this now. Okay, I have to change this. Okay, so it's going to be found is equal, it's going to be a dictionary, content. In content you'll have markdown, going to be a list, you'll have image, I guess for image I should really work with files actually. Yeah, yes. Oh, it's static, I guess. Let's go in there, so folders, extend, blah 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 blah. It's going to be found markdown. We're going to extend this. We're going to extend found image. Okay. Found static dot extend everything that's not markdown and that's not image folders. You have to build Spacemac from source. No. Spacemax is Emacs. It's a skin you add on top of Emacs. So you download the Spacemax master folder, I guess. Then you go put it on Windows. It's in your user folder, and it should be in. I guess it's in app data spacemax.d. Is it this one? Or is it in .emacs.d? I don't remember, but they have the install instructions on the website. You copy, paste the skin somewhere, and you just open Emacs like normal, it will open Spacemax. Okay, that was a bit hard. So find content should do the trick. I'm gonna do find exercises. Going to be similar. Yeah, it's so similar. I think finding exercises is similar. The difference is the label. So I guess we're going to do it this way. Finding content and exercises is very similar. The difference is I really want to label the new exercises differently, and more importantly, I want to build them a bit differently. That's the thing. They have to be packaged somewhere else. Because for for one, between the course versions, you may have separate zips with the exercises. The other thing is some people, they just want to watch the tutorials and they don't do the exercises, so they can download just the tutorials. Or they just want to see some Godot projects, then they can grab the exercises. Okay, so self.find content, and you're going to use folders.content like this, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. Okay. Because yeah, being content or exercise is just a label, and the difference is it's going to use folder.exercises, but let's use the value, and then find content will take a folder name, and it's going to go to this folder name. I guess it has to use have the chapter name. I guess I will build a path from find project files and find content. It's going to be a folder path, and it's just going to work with that. It's gonna be equal to, I have to join, it's gonna be cell.project folder. I'm gonna use an apps path for now. Project folder, chapter name, find project chapters. Remember how it is. Name absolute path. Actually, I have the absolute path stored, so it's going to be cell.project chapters, chapter name, and I don't need this. No, I need just join. Like that. All right. You can tell things are a bit hard-coded when lines start to get long, especially in Python. Okay. What did I do? It's the same every time. problemo. That's it. Okay, with this, we're ready to test the script. Okay, so find project files. Project chapters. Okay. And to get the project path, and let's print you bad boy. Find files. Find project files. Okay. So, define name, project chapters. It's like whoa. That's it, path. Yeah, it does. Like hold the path. Okay. That's and this is old code at the end. Alright. Okay. Should be all now. So print, process, edit, find project files. Probably going to be a few errors, but should do the trick. So you get the project folder, chapters, and that initializes the folder processor. And when you find project files, it's going to return a data dictionary. Before you do data, chapter data is equal to chapter name. I'll have to think about this. So chapter name, data, like that. Okay. So let's see now. Not if, but where it breaks. I have to call now packager with. Grab you in here. Come back. Thank you. So we're going to create a test folder like this. In this test folder, we'll copy and paste some stuff from around here. I think that's what that was actually. How they testing? Okay. And we're going to use the test folder. What? Takes find project chapters. Okay. Has no attribute, all the path. It's Okay. Okay, so we get a list of static paths, markdown, blah blah blah, image for each of them. Let's try to get yeah, it stores the absolute path for all the files. Is it necessary? No, it's not. I guess folder processor will just have to add a reference to the project, and you just need the main path once. You don't need to build absolute paths for everything. So let's maybe do this so it's a bit easier to digest, and you don't have to split the path back in the end to all the changelog, I guess. Okay, so chapter name. Where do I? Same thing with that. I don't need to return a dictionary for the chapters either. Let's see. No folders. If you have questions, don't hesitate, right? It's always the same with live streams. I think they're not extremely interesting, but if you ask questions, for you, I mean, if you start to ask questions, then I can hopefully figure out answers, or more competent people in the chat can find answers for you. So yeah, one other thing. Refactoring like that, you see, I've taken some old script, and sometimes starting from scratch when you have something small like a prototype is not that bad, because going through my old code, it's a bit longer to fix than maybe starting from scratch would have been. Okay. I just want it's going folder or folder in, or is that list there? No, project folder. If not, what? Yeah, I was really tired when I wrote this. It's like checking for the subdirectories in a directory, and it's checking if these subdirectories are directories. What? Seriously. And yeah, lose comprehension, and there we go. Folder 4. Yeah, sometimes you make such... You write such silly things. Returns the list of... I guess you don't need to return anything now. We're going to directly have you... like that. And there we go, it's a bit easier. So now, instead of having to loop over the keys for chapter name in self.project chapters. And now, let's see what we return from there. So, find content, you get the path every time. And yeah, that's the thing. It tries to join your root. I guess that's because I'm using the... yeah, with walk, I kind of have to do this. I mean, I'm going to get that absolute path by default. Okay, so let's print just a chunk 500 first characters. I guess should be enough. Where did I mess up? F4, F in, okay. Forgot to change one of the folders there. Oh. Aha. So I have to try and out that project folder and chapter name for now, and there we go, should be good. Okay. We get these static folders, we get GDQuest, yeah, that's the thing. You see, that's the thing I was looking for. It's in exercises. I wanted to look for folders instead of the individual files. So it can find kind of good demos. Well, I guess my needs are a bit specific in there, but right now it's like anything else, any other file it finds. Yeah, I guess found, when you find a markdown file, I'm going to do it this way. Found static.extend with a companion subfolder. It's going to be join folder for F in directories if F is not image. Starts with yeah, not sure how to best do it. Okay, so you're going to all the exercises, not find static files, and it's gonna be like alright, here you're going to be true. A bit easier to digest this way. Okay, so finite state machines, it's empty. Exercises, blah 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 blah. So I have my markdown files, static folder, and yeah, the thing is, it finds the start and end project for the exercises, which is what I want. Okay, found everything, it seems. Let me, I want to do one last thing. It's use a symbolic link for a video. Let's go to this, go to calls videos, or create a symlink. Here, one, this. Oh no, I need the command line. Okay, let's make a link. make link. How does it work already? Go. It's link targets. Normally, default is a file symbolic link. Okay. So you're going to create a link called video s.mp4 mov. I guess that's the format I use. mp4. And we're going to grab any of you. Okay. Now the question is, do you find all that, my dear? Select string, and we're looking for mp4. But no, maybe it's too long of a string, right? Yeah, it's maybe considered a single element. Right. Nope. Didn't get it. In 01 character course. Start, static, get the exercises. Okay. And rest. You to find image static.extend directories. Find static files. True. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't find symlinks. It doesn't treat them as files? What? Hold on. Print the root. Okay, let me see. Does not even print it, right? Hey. Okay, just trying to print. Okay, it prints here. Prints the data contents. All right. So this time, I guess it's not even. Is it not even walking the path? Print folder path. It prints the folder path. Okay, in content, and if I do this, why doesn't it work? There's no root, there's no files. Or doesn't even... Wow. Interesting, so... that's normal. I called the folder course. My bad. My bad. Where has it been used? You may use eprint to make your output more readable. Okay, didn't know that. And yeah, I guess json.dumps. I'm using yeah, pretty print. Okay, I never use it. Never used it. Normally, I should have JSON. I guess it's a good idea to use JSON, right? So let me see. Now it should be good. Don't need to print all that anymore. But it does not find anything. So, am I in the right? 01 intent. Hold on, the path was test 01, the character controller can. Let's see. Packager test. Where did I mess up my folder name? Ah, crap, I was in the wrong folder. Okay. My bad. Okay, gonna try json.dumps then. Thank you. Make link. Okay. Open the wrong folder. Okay. Please excuse me for the delay. And now we get the video file. Great. Okay, so symlinks work. All good. Now, just like Jill suggested, we're going to use json.dumps, and you're going to use the dictionary, so it's gonna be json.dumps the files with indent of. It's going to use it's 4 spaces, right? That'd be cool. Okay, doesn't find anything. Great, work. I'm not printing it. I guess JSON data on. Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a lot better this way. That's cool to know. I'm wondering why. Yeah, it's good to know this because someone is working on the Blender Power Sequencer add-on, and he actually made a method to do this. So I'll have to. I don't know if he doesn't know about the indent thing or if he doesn't like this. Sorry, Blender power sequencer. By the way, he's worked on the add-on like, wow, that made it worth really open sourcing it all the way. He fixed things, he made crazy improvements. Can't even imagine. Made a lot of code that I didn't have the time to get to. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, get some water. I'll be right back. So the first step, finding all the files. It's done. Can cross it off the list. What did I write here? Use objects. Yeah, I'll get it. Fix folder structures, and that was okay. So I didn't write the to-do the way it had to be done, but this way, the idea of moving to classes like this is you see our folder processor. Sorry, it finds all the files, all the paths. It stores everything in one. It does everything in one place. It stores everything in a dictionary, and then you feed the dictionary to the course database, and it's going to process it. The idea is, if you want to change the folder structure, you just go to folder processor. Right now, some things are a bit hard-coded, but you do have settings. You're going to have this in JSON where you can name your folders however you'd like if you want. Now, I don't mind this too much because that's actually how the way this project works is very similar to how web engines, static engines work. If you go to Hugo, what I have here, you have a content folder where you put all your content. You may put pictures, you may have files. They will be bundled along with each of the page, but basically Hugo is going to rebuild exactly the hierarchy you have here in the final website. I think if we go to public, you find some more folders because it has a system called aliases. In every content file, you can put a list of links that are former places where they were and you want to redirect to the new page. So my website is a mess because this was my first time using a static engine and I made lots of mistakes with pages, so I had to reorganize everything, but it doesn't matter too much because in the end, you know, you have the organization you want. Now I have Blender, Krita. I had open source, but I think I don't know how to best do it, like open source / Blender, Krita, blah, blah, blah. A portfolio is an old one, probably going to phase out the blog and all that stuff. So that's the same idea. It copies everything as is from static, and there's data which it passes separately, but that's kind of the idea. Okay, I'm not gonna leave you in here. Okay, because otherwise it's going. Oh, by the way, I have to stop Dropbox here. I forget all the time because otherwise it uploads things and it slows down the stream at the same time. Okay, so give me a few moments. I'll work on the database parts as soon as I have some water. Be right back. Hey, I'm back. So, we have our folder processor. Now it's time to get everything in the database. Exit after the DB. So, and I'll pull you up above the start of the script. Course database. First, you're not going to do this. Alright. The idea is to have some nice structure in a dictionary so we can save everything as JSON. Now the question is, I'm going to have for each entry from the file processor, excuse me, it's going to store a timestamp. Hold on. Go back in. Yeah, what? Move the break. Remove all this as well. Alright, so let's dump some JSON, please. Did I remove the print? I removed the print. Okay. Alright. We have a good list of files here. We only had video. Now we have nothing. You markdown files. Start and static folders. That's in the exercises here. No pictures for these, etc., etc. Okay, that's the job. For each entry, it's going to put a timestamp. I don't know how to do it. Because the problem with this is I think I can't get it the same way on Linux and on Windows. Oh. Where's that path that get modified time and get creation time? No, that it's that easy. And I guess for the formatting, okay, so it's that simple. Come on, can't be. Does it work with folders already? Go there, Python. And we're going to use you. Come on. Hold on. To copy you again. Hold that around that. You on this side, you on the right side. Okay. Does it work now with a folder? Okay. So that's interesting. For the timestamps, it's going to be very easy. For every single entry, we check the get C time. I guess it's get change time. This is creation time for the path. Get M time, last modification. And it's going to raise OS error. Okay, so for one, let's grab this. And you accept OS error. Okay, just so I have the syntax stored here. All right, pretty good. Now the database. I guess it should have everything in one dictionary. It's the easiest. Now for the structure, I'm not sure how to put it up. So we have chapters followed by could have it like, okay, this way. For example, O1. Chapter 1. I guess it's the same structure, right? Content, exercises, static, every time. What else do we need? The big difference is, let's mark it that way. Content, and file 1. And in there we will put the timestamp, stamp. And yeah, that's about it. Stamp, path, maybe. The database needs to. I mean, I already have the path file. I guess something along those lines. It is one option. What else can we do? We have the chapter name. I'm going to store the different types of elements. The reason being, when it's going to write the changelog, I wanted to put the content first, then the exercises, everything that's new. Like content, new, update, maybe removed. For example, in a list, second list, exercises, new, modified, update. Yeah, and with the chapter as a titles, it's going to pass the database. It's going to basically return the changes, you know. I guess that does the job. It's gonna be self.data, chapter name. Content is gonna be still a list. Yeah, okay. We're going to stick to simple names, exercises. And static. List. Yeah, it's a list of chapters, right? Maybe chapters or data. Yeah, chapters. I think it's more clear that we have a list of chapters in there. There you go. Chapter name, content, exercises, static. Just so that I don't miss out on anything. I think that's good. It's going to store for each file or folder the stamp and the path. Okay. How did I call it? Files dict. Okay, so use folder processor to find files and get the get the source files dict. Someone's asking, I'm thinking of releasing a 2D platformer with medieval aesthetics based on fantasy and Asian monsters to mobile, sorry. Is it still okay to release it for PC? Do one platform at a time. I mean, it depends a lot on the gameplay. You have to study your target. It's not something you answer like this. It's different for every game. First, try to target one platform and make it work there. Design it for the platform. Then, if there's an opportunity to port the game, port it, but never, ever, ever do the two at the same time. Never. Porting is complicated enough. If you try to maintain it as you go, you just lose time. You waste a lot of time, and you cannot design for both platforms at the same time. Desktop players don't want the same thing as mobile ones. Controls shouldn't be exactly the same, etc. You may have to tweak the gameplay, you may have to change the difficulty as well based on the platform. Be very careful with that. Sometimes the files install as okay, the question is, do we compare at this point? Enjoy lunch, Jill. See you in a few. How did I learn Python? Good question. With the tutorial on the web, I did follow a little bit of Codecademy's Python course, but I mostly looked at different resources. And the thing is, I really started to learn and understand it when I started creating scripts and programs. So I have, in particular, a Blender add-on with thousands of lines of code, and that's really where I learned Python. You have to write a lot of code and fail and do a lot of research and rewrite your code because you messed it up or you structured it very bad to really learn a language and all of its complexity. But the starting point was, for the starting point, there was the Hitchhiker's Guide to Python, the official tutorial, and Codecademy. John is asking, have you tried Zim, desktop wiki that keeps its files in folders and markdown documents? I like it for keeping information. Let's look at this. It's a suggestion from John in the chat. I haven't. I don't know anything about it. Okay, internet, very fast and efficient. One thing is, if someone can tell me, well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Right now, the update function, it's going to update the database, but do I want to... The Hitchhiker's Guide to Python, by the way, while I think about it, I think now it's not available for free anymore. Before, it was a very long list of tutorials that were a bit harsh. You had to follow the exercises and all. And I think now it's not free. It used to be. Stamps the file, stores their paths. Yeah, I guess the previous database is going to be stored as a JSON file. So this is going to update, stores it in self dot data. Yeah, okay, we're going to store it hot data. How do you call it? There's going to be a database that's stored on the hard drive. I guess you have to reload every time you launch the program. You know, it's going to be self.chapters, and it's going to update the existing database. Self.chapters, self.changes, and changes will be the base for the change log. Okay. I guess we can do it this way. Normally when you design classes like this and the program, you should kind of write the skeleton. It's a bit hard, to be fair. I'm not too used to coding on stream, and I think I should prepare all this before the programming streams because it's a bit hard to focus. Try to answer the chat and all that stuff. So the idea is def write changelog. The idea is you write the skeleton for your class, and then you start to flesh out the code flow. You can leave empty methods that don't do anything, and you're going to do things like this. So def update will compare, def load from file, and use a like that, load from file path. Okay, so with this one you can write real quick. We'll open file path as data. Yeah, normally the downloading opening pages shouldn't be too slow, but yeah, JSON that loads data. Database from a JSON file. Something like this. Very simple. We're going to open as data. There we go. Data.read. You'll have okay, so when you initialize it, I want everything to be empty. Going to be an empty list, changes empty. Okay. Now here, when you update, you're going to pass in some data, and that's where you start to build everything. So now the question is, how do you do this? I guess it's going to compare as you go. Okay, so I have a files dictionary with the form chapter name starts every time with a chap in the list. Okay, so for chapter in files dictionary, you're going to chapter name, chapter dict, and yeah, I guess files dict is okay. And chapter dictionary dot keys loop, go down one level. want to go down the nested for loop. Isn't there a way to iterate, like go down through a dictionary like that? A bit more, a bit like os.walk. Let's see. Sorry, Python. Yeah, I guess that's how you do this. Can you give a quick recap on what you are coding? This is a tool to that's going to take all the files that make a course project, like that. So it looks for markdown files, images, and all that stuff, and it packages everything in a dist folder. The thing is, you can use it for pretty much any online product with chapters. And it has to, along the way, find all the files that changed, only copy the changes over, and write a change log as well. Make it a lot easier when you want to update your course or product to do so. So now I'm going to step through the... I'm trying to create some kind of database, and you step through this. Hugo. I use Hugo for my website, but this is something else. Now that you say this, I wonder if you couldn't hack Hugo to do everything for you. Maybe you could. Okay, after the stream I'll look into it, actually. I didn't think about that. Because you can copy static files. We'll copy everything from content. Yeah, I guess maybe Hugo could work actually, and could work probably better considering how fast it is. Yeah, okay, let's finish this database thing. It's a good exercise anyway, and then I'll have to see after the stream when I'm off. Okay. So, I'm going to go down the dictionary. So, key and after dict, you iterate through the key. Hold on. I'm gonna keep you on the side. Yeah, I guess I have to do it this way. Okay, so you go down to content, so for I need the chapter name. So step through the dictionary. Chapter dict. One level, second level. This, then inside of it. I need to store the chapter name. Then I need to step through the values for category and content in chapter name dot items. Go down one more level, so now we are at markdown, image, and static. And normally I have them every time. Okay, I can assume I always have them. So, compare. This is where I start to compare. For key in markdown. Markdown, image, and static. No, I don't always have them. I have it for content and exercises, but static has no key. Okay. By the way, I'll do a stream where I work on the website with Hugo because I have to redesign it. That's planned as soon as possible. Okay, so it's really ugly, but I just want that image. Process the files. One. Looking for an elegant way to dive down and find the info in the dictionary. Because I don't know how. I don't know of an alternative to the mess I have here right now. Okay. Go down. Okay, so for path in content.key, go down, and now you're at the Pass level. I don't know. This way. In the end, the list of files I have here is almost my database. I'm just kind of transforming it, but I feel like it's overkill to do it this way. Well, I could store the timestamps from the start, the name, the file path, yeah. So that's the thing. The only thing the DB should do is compare it to what we had before. I guess here you, in the find folder data, you can really store everything from the start. Now, for the keys, two files and folders kinda have the same name. You can't store just the last element. Guess I really have to script to get the relative paths here. Okay, so let's see. I have to change things to get relative paths. That is what I'm trying to achieve now. Not going to work. So this is going to take the all the processors results and compare it. Current DB. Install the changes and sell the changes. I guess that's about it. Okay, and you're going to apply timestamps up there. Timestamp. You're going to get the timestamp for the file path. Right? On. Copy you. Go. Timestamp. This music makes you want to dance. Okay, so for now, I'm going to rely on don't have errors, but I guess Okay, this way. Alright, I really want to store relative paths and the top folder with find content. So my find project files, it's going to first store, the first thing it's going to store in the list is going to be a dictionary of global data, in a sense. Or maybe we will keep it, we'll get it from a project folder. Yeah, we have the project path here, so we'll reuse it. Okay, no problem. Project path, and then for everything I want to get a relative path. Now, because I use os.walk, let's see with zeal. Okay, let's see with by closing everything first. See, we're talking about this desktop wiki, closing everything that's not useful anymore, this view, and do I have to call rel path? Okay, that's it. You just use rel path to convert it to a relative path for everything. Okay. Okay, folder rel path is equal to os.path.rel path of os.path join, and we join the root with okay, so for we're going to do things differently for the in directories. The relative path is going to be this. Let me be rel path. Alt. Okay, so the folder path, that should be the chapter chapter path content. Okay, so found markdown, extend. So here, instead of root, I'm going to use folder rel path. Okay, that should be one step already. Okay, let's see. Already looking a lot better. Let's, markdown, it still turns or something. It seems to be working like static here. Should get it. Image, it worked. not for Markdown. Why didn't it work for Markdown file? Ah, okay. Where is the current directory? Ah, it's root actually. The relative path is going to be path.join root. Now it's just going to be the comparison between the roots. That's it. The roots and the folder path. The now. Go and folder relative path. Yeah, and there we go. Now we have relative paths, and we have a dictionary that represents the folder tree and the files tree. Great. So now a dictionary represents the tree. Why is the last one not working? Static? I guess where did I found static files? I guess because it's not here the code for the static folder. It's going to require the path, the relative path between static path and I guess it's just static. Folders.static.value. There we go. And so with this, we have our database. The last thing to do is to use each of these as a key. And do this. Point as a key. This way, each of the keys should be... Yeah, you can see if the files can have the same name, it's not a problem because every key is unique. And with that, I will add one last thing. Storing the timestamp, and maybe along the way we can have file data. So get timestamp. Okay, so maybe you want the pictures though. Yes. Okay, I have a list of apps, images, down. Going to have the path of it. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. Gonna go have lunch and get back to it this afternoon. Calculating the timestamp should work with this. It's quite simple. Stores a time value. And yeah, that's with this, it got a bit further. It's not ready yet, but okay. I think that's good enough for this stream. My attention is going down right now, so I've got to take a break. I'm here. I'm up since very early this morning, so it's almost 1 p.m. Actually, good night, John. It's bedtime for you. Okay, if you have any question, please feel free to ask before I close the stream. And I guess for the next development stream, I'll try to prepare the project a bit better, right? But thank you for joining. Seems there are no questions. Okay, so have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. The stream.